All right, so I like to do the eyes last because it kind of gives a dramatic effect when you do that last. It really comes together at the very end. So make sure your brush is very nice and clean. And dry it off with a paper towel. Not quite clean enough. Okay. And make sure it's nice and dry. We don't want watery black, then it won't be a nice solid black. Okay, so taking the pointy brush, surprise, surprise, we will dip just the tip of our brush into the paint. Just get a black paint, just get a little bit on there, cover the tip, and then kind of brush it out so you still maintain that tip. And so we're just creating a C at first along the outer edge of the owl's eye, kind of like giving them eyeliner. Nice steady hand, if you can. I like to have a nice thick section at the very edge, then thinner on the top and bottom. All right, there we go. And then again, just getting a little bit more black on the very tip of your brush. You'll do the other side. It's a little harder when you can't set your arm onto the canvas because it is wet still, so keep that in mind. Again, starting where the eye meets the V at the very top. And I actually just added a bit more than I wanted to. So if you mess up on this part, which happens, it's a very precise sort of thing, and black can be unforgiving, you're just gonna take your brush, clean it really well, and if it's wet, just kind of pick that pigment up off your canvas and blend it out, then dry off your brush, and then just do some stamps. All right. Thankfully, I didn't put too much black on there. Can barely see it now. All right, so now make sure your brush is nice and clean. Again, get that brush with just the tip with black. And I'm gonna have to set my hand down on the sky because I'm a little too shaky on this part. Okay, and doing that C and curving it around the eye, outer edge of the eye. Perfect. All right, so nice subtle C's. Now we do the pupil. So it's not going to go all the way to the bottom or the edge, only the pupil is gonna only touch the top part where the V connects to the yellow. So I'm gonna put that color in first. And then start where the eyeliner starts. Coming out. All right. It's nighttime, so their pupils are going to be pretty big so they can take in as much light as they can. The nice things about being an owl, you have really big eyes to see better at nighttime. They're awake. All right. There we go. Just gonna round that out. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more black because mine blended. So I was putting that on. So I want a nice deep black pupil. I just try and keep it really smooth when I work around the edge so I don't have like a shaky pupil. So there we go. And then you can do lighter brush strokes as you work inside. Okay, I'm gonna put down more paint. Okay, nice dark pupil. All right, so we're doing that again on the other side, if that wasn't super fun. It's definitely a challenge getting it exactly how you want it to. I always start smaller because you can always add more. It's hard to pick a lot of black up off the canvas, so. And then you can build it in size. Look at the other side, make sure it looks even, about the same size. No lopsided pupils happening. And then add on more pigment. Those are looking pretty good. So while you still have a lot of good black paint on the tip of your brush, you're gonna just quickly add a couple of beak nostrils, just really tiny little slits at the top of the beak. There you go, that looks good. All right, so then to finish off the eyes, that shape is not quite, there we go. So clean off your brush. Actually, I want to just finish that off. Clean that up. Oh, that looks good. And then you're just going to take a little bit of white at the very tip of your brush. And you're going to add in a little glint to the eye. So you just plop on just a little bit of white. Don't dab, dab, dab. It's going to mix with the black. So, and clean that off because it probably got some black on it. Again, boop, just a little bit of white. There we go. Some beautiful owl eyes. Bring this to the side here. There you go. I accidentally made them a little lopsided. That's okay. It's a little bit of a derpy owl. Beautiful. All right. And then just I'm gonna do a few finishing touches. Anything you notice that looks kind of funny, like the beak I noticed doesn't really stand out very well with this very light color by it. So I'm just gonna add in some darker feathers around the beak. That looks good. And I might help with the transition by kind of having these beak feathers come out a little bit. And then adding the white over top for a better transition. Not too much white so we don't have the same problem as before. That's looking good. Except I'm might do a little bit of black under here. There we go. Really want that beak to be nice and visible. So now we're gonna finish off our background. So if you did your moon, this is a good chance to finish that. I'm gonna do a mostly white combination with maybe a smidge of yellow. And put that down in this section. I'm probably gonna have to do a few layers to really complete it. Then I also like to do stars. If the moon is out, then there should be stars in the sky. So really light little pats with the tip of the brush. Stars have different amounts of brightness, so you want different size dots for different size or brightness of stars. And just kind of randomly place them. You can do, I'm gonna do a constellation. That's always fun. This will be out in the country, so I'm going to do a lot of stars. Why is that in there?
She pushed in. Are you done?
Oh, no, I just got distracted. Sorry, wondering why my dog is eating in the wrong room. Alrighty. Okay. Alright, so that is a pretty nice Eastern Screech owl. So I hope yours turns out very similar. I know everyone has different styles, so if you like adding on more paint and building up texture that way, it might not be as flat as mine. You might have like thick layers of paint. I love that style too. Just depends on your own personal take on that owl, and that's what makes it fun. Everyone's is gonna look different. And the most important thing at the very end, you gotta sign your name. You can do initials, you can do your full name. I like to choose one of the bottom corners and do my own initials. Since I have a dark color there, I'm gonna do just white down here for my initials. So everyone knows who created your masterpiece. I need to clean off this brush. It's not gonna show up very well if it's super thick paint. Okay, so there's my M, L, M, and once I finish my moon, it will be done. All right, well, good job. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I hope you had fun. And now you